Welcome to another episode of My Wife's Asleep, or today it's going to be the Boucher Russian nesting dolls. I'm here with your favorite guest I've ever had, Mark Boucher, and then I'm here with your second favorite guest I've ever had, old Happy Feet Paddy Boucher. Let's get started. So what's up, boys?
We wish we had our favorite host here.
Gleb?
Yeah.
Patrick, you sound so thrilled. You guys excited for the Tom Brady roast tonight? We're pre-gaming the Tom Brady roast.
Yeah, we're pre-gaming with water.
I'm about to make a drink after this shit, dude. We're in Dad's famous Elvis room, as you can see.
I got my Arnold Palmer.
That's nice. Makes you happy. So, are you guys excited about the roast? Who's all? You guys got to lean in a little bit.
You just told us we can do whatever.
Well, you can do whatever you want, but if you want audio to get picked up, you got
You
to
can hear us.
Okay, is this better? Is
Yeah.
this better? Can you hear me now?
Dude, we have listeners in South Africa who want to hear your opinions.
Hello, South Africa.
The critters want to know what the Boucher boys are getting into.
I think it's going to be funny what people pick on him that we don't know about. Because they're going to say something like a locker room thing or something we may not know about.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting. I don't know who all is going to be there, but it's going to be interesting, Belichick, because he's very business orientated. And if you look at all his, we're on to Cleveland. Okay, your quarterback just dropped a leg and he broke his leg in 5 pieces. What are you thinking? We're off to Cleveland. He doesn't say anything. He's just so it's going to be interesting to see his fun side come out if he's got one. That's what I'm most interested to watch. Patty, what do you think?
I'm the same way. Like, Randy Moss and Julian and Gronk are going to have some things to say, but I want to see what Belichick, like, if he's, like, loosey-goosey. And, like, we haven't seen them talk too much since they've split their ways, so to speak. So
That we know about, because I'm sure they've texted
Well, they've
that.
had conversations that we don't know about, and since then, like, they're together 20-something years, so, I mean, it wasn't all bad, so I want to see that a little bit.
Well, like, hopefully the roasters roast everybody, just like in the old, like,
Well, they're
comedy
going
set.
to, yeah.
$5 says Tom Segura is going to mention Belichick and his hookers.
Belichick didn't have hookers. Kraft did.
Okay.
Crafton.
Is it Kraft?
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't see that video?
Shows how much I know.
There's a video.
I never got picked for sports. That's why I'm a comedian.
There's a video of Belichick at some bar like 2 years ago, leaving downtown Boston with some like 20-something-year-old college girl, and then the next day they caught him on Ring, like him walking out, no shirt on, like cold.
Belichick?
Yeah,
That's
like,
what I'm talking about. His hookers.
cold. It's not a hooker. He picked her up at the bar. Belichick ain't paying for it.
So 65-year-old man bringing home college Boston poontang.
In Boston, Belichick gets away with a lot.
Yeah.
He's God. Kraft's the one driving down to
Look
Jupiter.
at Anna Nicole Smith. She landed a billionaire at 94 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just waiting for that clock to tick.
Kentucky Fried Whore. Fucking, I had these 4 people from Connecticut today, and they were talking about the roast tonight. I was driving them to the island, and they were like, "Where's it going to be held?" And I was like, "Gillette Stadium."
That'd be funny. Kraft be selling tickets $100 like for Brady's induction. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think if Kraft is charging $100 for that, I think they should donate it to charity.
He's made them so much money.
He's got enough money. The stadium, I mean, is going to do what they're going to do.
It's not a Gillette.
No,
It's not a Gillette.
No, Brady's
It's a comedy
induction
podcast,
for
Patrick. It was a
his,
joke.
Oh,
Hall
yeah.
of Fame at Gillette Stadium.
Yeah.
I think if you want to charge, that's great, but I think donate it to charity. I mean, that'd be a huge moneymaker.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What was the wildest thing you guys did this week?
I peed in a jug.
Oh, you did pee in the jug today.
Peed in the jug
How
today.
full did that was a big jug? How full did you get that?
Well, not
Did
much.
they want a full jug or just a specimen?
I think you get a full jug, then you send them a specimen.
Did you shit in it too, or you just had to pee in that one?
I just had to pee in it.
Oh, damn.
I wouldn't shit. The hole's too small. I couldn't figure that out. I had a hard enough time peeing in it.
Okay.
Like it's in a hospital.
Was that for your liver?
Kidneys.
Oh, we should throw some of my pee in there and see what they say.
I know, really messed up. Whoa!
You broke it.
You want to pee in it too?
No.
Why?
You don't want to know what I got on.
Just caffeine.
Sex
Just
getting
fucking
old.
Red Bulls and cold brew.
You get old, you lose your hair, you lose your memory, and then you know what happens?
I'm never gonna lose my hair.
I forget. I don't remember.
What's the wildest thing you did this week, Patrick?
I almost fixed the washer.
Oh yeah,
and I
tell us
didn't
that
want-
story. Lean in.
Wait, you fixed it? Or you
There's a
broke it?
fucking plumber, ordained plumber over here. He went online and got a fucking certification.
Dryer broke down about 2-3 weeks ago, so I went on YouTube, looked it up, bought the whole new heating element. Turns out it was just one piece, but I fixed the entire dryer, so the dryer's going to work for another 5-6 years, hopefully. So then last week, the washer went. So I took the whole entire washer apart, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And to get the top and the bottom off, I needed a spanner wrench, and I didn't have one, so I called Dad. I was like, "You got a spanner wrench?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, fucking good are you?" So I hung up. So then I'm looking around. I bring the whole thing out. It breaks down to two parts, and either the transmission or the just weird little connector at the bottom that connects the transmission and the engine together, or the motor. So I was talking to my roommate, and I was like,
transmission?
"No, the connector between it that moves it, because the belt was running, but the little piece that connects the two." So I bought a new washer, split with my roommate, and they came. We paid the $60 for them to set it up and remove it. My roommate's like, "Why are you paying $60 for them to install?" I go, "Because they also remove it instead of paying like two guys in a truck and paying them $250." So the guy's trying to unhook the hot water from the faucet of the house, and he goes, "It's tight, boss." And I said, "It's not that tight." So he got his pliers and he goes like this. He goes, "It's a little tight, boss." And I go, "Here." So I grab my crank pliers and I give it to him, plumber's pliers, and I go, "Try this." And he goes, "It's a little tight, boss." And I said, "Give me that." I said, "It's not." I go like this and yank the whole faucet off, so water's shooting all over the garage. So I had to jump over and shut the water off. The guy literally takes a picture of the broken spigot, hands me the manual, and goes, "Call a plumber," and walks away. And I was like, "Thanks."
So
He told you. He warned you.
He knew, but I didn't listen.
You
I
were
muscled
stubborn,
through it.
Pepe.
We only went 4 hours without water, which was not
So
bad.
wait, here's a question, because I meant to ask you this on the phone. Did you have one wrench or two? One pair of pliers or two?
We had 2 pairs of pliers.
So you had one holding the pipe coming up and the other one trying to loosen it?
No. It's the connector to
I know what you're saying.
one plier. I
You
took the
should
one
have had two.
and held it tight and gone the
You
other
should
way.
have held it tight, then
Yeah.
the other one. That way
Yeah.
you wouldn't put so much pressure, probably wouldn't have broke. But
It
the
was
pipe
so
probably,
corroded anyways.
it
Like,
probably would have broke.
even the other, like when the plumber came out to fix it, he looked at it, he goes, "Bro, I don't even want to touch this," and I know it's already broke. It's so corroded.
Yeah, either that or the pipe would have broke somewhere down the line.
So when
And
I
you
mo-
don't really have much of a butt, so you're not qualified
So
to be a plumber.
when I move out, the last thing I touch is that washing machine.
Why don't you have someone else take it apart? You're not so good with it.
I'm taking my washing machine.
I know, but let someone else take it
Yeah,
apart.
hire a professional.
No, I did it.
Like a real American, hire some dude. When I moved in here, I needed a screwdriver for something when I first moved in to Dad's, and I go into the garage and I'm looking around like, where's Dad's toolbox? Dad ain't fucking around, dude. Dad's got like that red Husky bin. Like I felt like I moved in with fucking Hank Hill.
You've never seen the garage and worked on it?
I've never. When do I pick up tools? I
Do you
use a
have my
butter
hacksaw?
knife or a Phillips head.
Yeah.
My wildest thing this week, ladies and gentlemen, I was
Wait, no one asked you.
well. I'm
You're
the
just going
host.
to ask yourself questions?
I'm the host. It's taking you guys 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes over there telling the washer and dryer. I almost fought a
Can I ask you
security
question?
guard
Sean,
yesterday.
wait, can I
What's
ask you a
up?
question? What's the most exciting thing that happened to you this weekend?
I almost fought a security guard up in Wesley Chapel yesterday. I was driving this kid all the way from Sarasota, and I get to the gate and I'm zoned out. Like the kid had his phone. He was on the phone. It was like an hour and 20-minute drive. He would. I'm not gonna talk about. I'm not Bert Kreischer, you fucker. And so the kid was like having a conversation on speakerphone in Arabic, and we get. You guys are monsters. No more platform for you. This podcast is over. Oh no! The wildest thing. This just happened on the way home. I met a woman.
You sure it's a woman? Nowadays you can't tell.
I went to Wawa to get cigarettes, and there was.
He's obsessed with Wawa.
Dude, it's great rewards. I could buy a franchise. But no, I went in and I've never seen this woman. I'm not going to tell her your name because now that you go to Wawa, I don't want you to blow my spot. I got to look cool buying my green teas and 2 packs of cigarettes every day. Anyways, I could save her, bro. Drop
Save
the
her from
drop the
what?
hoagie and get with the hero, bro. Get her out of the minimum wage.
You're the one driving Uber, living with your father.
Yeah, but it's
She's
a
got her own
stepping
place.
stone. I don't know if she's got her own place, though. 2 incomes is better than one. I could save this Wawa girl.
I only go for the ketchup chips.
I know, I got to restock ketchup chips like they're fucking rations in this
I know.
house.
So what happened? You met this girl at Wawa. What's the craziest thing?
Yeah,
Did
he
you
met
get
her
her
and she
enough-
said, that'll be $4.50.
Yeah, I
please."
know.
No,
right?
I was like,
That's him meeting a girl.
like, let me get 2 packs of Marlboro Black Red
32
Shorts.
cents your change, come again.
And she
He's
got there's like
yes, I
the
still got it.
so I scanned my rewards and there's like the pack with the $1 off and there's the pack without the $1 off. I found out 2 days ago if you scan the thing with the $1 off, it doesn't activate the Wawa reward. So I was real cool and I was like, like if you scan the one without the $1 off, it doesn't activate the reward. It's like, oh, that's good to know. I was like, I still got it, dude.
Yeah, but what's
Teaching
the,
her thing.
so what do you get for a pack of cigarettes? How many reward points, really?
You don't
Yeah,
get.
you
You don't
don't
get.
get-
No, you get money off
You
of
don't
them.
get anything for tobacco.
You get money off it though.
Yeah, but
So
it's
2
$2.
packs go from 17 to 14.
Why do you
Yeah.
have $15 framed?
It's $20
Why do you have $20 framed?
because that's the first time I ever got paid to do stand up.
Really?
Yeah.
And notice how he framed it so well that you said, what's the first $15 you made? So now you know why he does comedy. He does the
It was
framing
20.
over at the Hobby
Jesus
Lobby
fucking Christ.
because he really can't do it.
You guys don't understand me. So I was thinking about this
Well, no one
driving
can
home.
understand there's $20 in there either.
Well, it's for me to look at my
And
accomplishments.
what's it say? Sean. I said you should put the date, the time, or something. So it's just gonna say Sean.
And it's like receipt paper too.
Well, yeah, because that's what they pay. They handed it to me. It was a proud moment in my life. I
When
made
you
money
framed
doing
it, you should have, put a little bit better, or put a little like actual printed out thing saying my first. 15.
When you got your first tip at Dunkin' Donuts, did you frame it?
He never worked at Dunkin'.
we can't say it on that.
We don't talk about where he works at Dunkin'. Leave him alone.
He didn't work at
It's the
Dunkin'.
perfect place to go to get my morning coffee and the perfect stalking stuffer.
He works at that other place.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
Anyways,
You like Wendy's? You like Wendy's?
Yeah, with their surcharge.
These nuts on your face?
Surcharge.
so you know what I was thinking of on the drive home? Remember when we were kids and I was the younger brother and I'd tag along? He's like, don't fucking embarrass me with my friends. And we, I'm like, me? Embarrass you? Excuse me? And we went over to JM's house. It was JM, ZO, AM. I'm not going to say their names. And they had this ritual. This was their initiation to hang out with them. Do you remember this? And they had a pit in the backyard. And they would light fire in the pit. And you had to jump in the pit and put it out.
Yeah.
And your sneakers caught on fire. You were fucked.
Yeah.
Remember that?
We did a lot of stupid stuff.
What was this craziest thing you did when you were kids? I got some stories.
My father's sitting right there.
That's who gives a shit. We're grown.
I was a hobo.
We were watching. Have you ever seen Tulsa King?
Yeah.
We
That's
were,
why I said something. He doesn't even listen to me. He doesn't care. You are right. It is.
You
hobo
weren't
day.
on a hobo.
I was.
You
What
were
does a
never a
hobo
hobo.
do? A hobo uses a train to go from one place to the other, right?
Yeah, but you did it to go to work. You weren't.
No.
You didn't have a
I was-
stick and bindles.
We used to go up to this place called Willoughby's. We used to go up swimming in the river. It was a ways from
swimming in the
the
river.
house. So we go to the railroad tracks, so the train used to go by slow, so we climb on it. So technically, I was a hobo. I was using the train to go one place to
Train
another.
jumped.
Yeah.
I'd catch you and beat your ass for that, dude.
But we used to go up in the cab because sometimes they sit there and wait. We go up, and the guy would show us the inside of it. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
Then we used to, I don't want to say this was an illegal activity, but
Statute of limitations over. You're 50.
allegedly, we used to go to this wood place,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to go over to the time clock and punch people's times in and out.
You fucking people's livelihood.
And then we used to.
How old were you when you were doing that?
Oh, we were in high school.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Wait, do the gesture again. What would you do?
Just punch them. And then they had like these giant bales of sawdust. We'd like jump on them, like stuntmen, and crack them open.
Hell yeah.
And we used to like steal a bunch of dowels, and then we would make nunchucks and sell them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Those are little entrepreneurs.
Yeah, way to do it. Except the cops came one time, and my friend was in the dumpster, and I was like flat on the roof, and like I get the bag of wood, and it's like we would have been busted. But luckily, we never got busted.
What was the best prank you ever did on somebody? Either one of you.
We didn't really prank too many people.
I had a friend who was drunk, and he used to take me anywhere. So I was driving, and this guy had a little bench in his front lawn surrounded by flowers. So I took him out of my car and laid him on the bench and went home.
Take me anywhere.
He said, take me anywhere, so I did. I wasn't happy when he woke up. The old guy was looking at him the next day like, what are you doing on my lawn?
We were in middle school and we were going to this girl's party, and it was like the
Those are
parents.
the best.
The parents were there, so like all the girls were out front, and we rode up on our bikes and we were hanging out in the driveway. And my one buddy didn't want to go because he just got his hair cut, and like his mom literally put a bowl on his head and cut his hair. So
Which friend was it?
The tall blonde one.
I was the
So he followed us like nonchalant throughout the woods and like tried to like watch us and everything. And so as we're riding back our scooters and our bikes, we should be like, yo, this girl, we should say this girl was asking about him. We're like, yeah, we'll say this girl was asking about him. So he was in the back with two of them and I was in the front. We were doing something at the house, and he comes up to me and like he's still like one of my close friends, and like at this point we were really close. And he's like, so what was this girl? I was like, yo, she had like dirty blonde hair, blonde brunette, like she had like some like Abercrombie like pink polo and like the puka shell necklace, and oh yeah, she was asking about you, and she had like tits were popping, bro, like it was great and everything like this. And he goes, everything you said is what so and so said. I believe you. I have
so
to
you
find this girl.
guys got your story straight?
We didn't even talk about it or discuss it, but we got our story straight. So it was CE. And yeah, so I ran to the back to get CE, and I was like, hey, you said this, and this. And he goes, yeah. Well, I go, I said the same exact thing. We didn't even discuss it.
Bro, the puka shell, that was a great touch.
So, dude, it was perfect. So for like a week and a half, he's on like MySpace trying to find this girl's name and everything. Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was those times. That was hilarious. But there was one time it was all of us again. And he had a half pipe, and he was working on the car and he was trying to fix the headlights, and it was like flammable. So he was trying to figure out how flammable the thing was. Dude, this kid's like wicked smart. I've seen him like.
He is very intelligent.
But I've seen him light himself
It
on
knows
fire.
sense.
He's lit himself
yeah.
on fire 5 times. So he had a bucket of water,
Maybe
and
like
he
Richard Pryor.
he put the things on his shoes, and he lit the windshield liquid on fire, and he was dancing around in the driveway, and finally jumped in the bucket to put his shoes out and broke the bucket. So then 2 hours later, it's like 12 o'clock at night, and we're trying to skate still in this half pipe, and we don't have a light. So we decide the smartest thing to do is light the ramp on fire. So we light the ramp on fire, and we're skating
You guys
up
were
and
edgy,
down
bro.
it. Yeah, dude,
Drinking
it was
Mountain
so
Dew and
cool.
shit.
Going up and down, and then we realized we can't put this fire out because the bucket's broken and we can't get the water from the faucet of the house. So me, being the genius that I am, I decide to piss the fire out, and I put it out.
Patrick was a legend. He was
But
a
then-
volunteer
Must have been a
fireman.
small fire.
No, it wasn't a small fire, but I put it out. But then they somehow found the bucket or whatever and got it halfway full, and then started to chuck it at me as I was pissing. So I had my pants down, and I'm like shimmying away, putting it out.
What was that?
Shimmying away, pulling it out. We did some stupid shit, but nothing too crazy.
I think the best prank I've ever done was I made fake business cards and put Patrick's phone number on it.
Fucking hate you.
Giuseppe's Olive Oil Company.
Yeah, I'd hand them out at bars in Orlando, and I'd be like, yo, I'd be drunk, just like hanging out with people. I'd be like, yeah, that's actually a cover. I actually sell like oil, if you know what I mean. So we get phone calls at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, drunk people from the bar at 2:30 in the morning going, hey, I'm looking for Patrick from Giuseppe's Oil. Like, I'm trying to buy a case and this and that. Like, call me back. Let's make a deal. And I was like, what the hell's going on?
Okay, thanks.
Dude, for $12, you can make any. I was doing fake business before Tim Dillon. For $12, you can make 100 business cards of anything you want.
Now you can do it with your own computer.
Yeah.
When we were in middle school, it was me and a couple of my buddies, and we went out because when you're young, you think you're invincible and you think you know everything. You think you're so
Yeah.
cool. And you're so
Petuous
smart.
nature of youth, yeah.
So we were going around and people still had the Christmas lights out. So we would like unscrew it. This was like in summer, spring. So some people left their Christmas. We'd unscrew them and we throw them up in the air and like you'd hear them land and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did stupid stuff like that. And then we'd pick up people's cars at rear end and we would move them so the cars like instead of being in the driveway would be sideways and they come out. And
Damn, you guys must have been burly boys.
there was a little blurb. We had like a little local newspaper. We see if we can make the blurb. That's we had like 5 or 6 of us, but the 3 of us were out one time and it's like, okay, well we're gonna go home. So like, okay, so I start walking up the street to go home. We were like halfway, and I hear a car coming. Well, I used to deliver newspapers, so I knew the neighborhood. So I like run and I duck behind this house, and I see this cop car go by with 2 heads in the back.
Oh, we got your buddies.
I got the buddies.
You were the renegade.
They were renegade. They wouldn't tell them my name though. And then I'm walking up again, and then I'm like underneath the car, way in the back. So if they shine their spotlight like they did,
They won't see you.
They could see the front. They couldn't see the back. And then I'm like up in a tree, and I'm like blended in like I'm a tree limb. So then I go in the back door, and then like as soon as I get in my bedroom like lights up. They got like the spotlight on my bedroom.
How'd they get you if your boys didn't sell you out though?
He told me that was the house. Didn't tell him my name, and he said that's the house. And I was like, real quick,
So
trying
they
to
ratted on you.
I was trying to strip down and like get in bed. So I go, what are you talking about? I was sleeping. I never get out. Because my dad never knew when I went out we did this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so like the next day I call his house and like his mother's like, who's this? And I go, it's Mark. He's not allowed to hang out. Don't call her anymore. They were so mad. No, but there was like 5 or 6 of us in the neighborhood. And this is back up in Westbrook. And there was 2 people you didn't mess with on the street. Mr. Rogers, who was like, he was the first one on the street, and he was the deputy fire chief who ended up becoming the fire chief, and Mr. Boucher. Mr. Obie,
I can see Grampy not fucking around.
Mr. Obie was kind of strict. Mr. McCarthy was kind of gone all the time. The other ones were but they all knew each other. But my father or Mr. Rogers, even after Mr. Rogers died, we went over to the house, and they said, oh, let's get a picture, near Byron's helmet. I go, Mr. I can't call him Byron. I said, I can't. So we'd sit there and we go, we all move the cars. We'd hit like 4 or 5 cars, right? And I go, we got to do my dad's car. Because even though we had a 1-car garage.
Yeah, so that way you didn't look suspicious that your car didn't move.
If we don't do our cars, they're going to know it's us. I'm like, no. I'm like, come on. We can't do your dad's. He's never going to know. I'm like, okay. So we stood there and and then we did it. And the next day my father came out. He was, oh my God, he was P.O. Because there was kind of a side story. Mm-hmm. There was one summer where we all got crew cuts as kids. Every one of us got crew cuts. Next thing you know, a couple of kids, can I get a crew cut? He called the parents. gave him crew cuts. One of the neighbors, Danny, he was kind of he was a punky guy. He was funny, but he was getting my father. My father goes, "I'll give you a haircut," and then he said something, and my father went to reach him, and Danny took off running. And Danny was I think he was into baseball, and he was kind of sporty. And picture Dad with his Docker green pants on
Jesus.
and his white V-neck T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden he starts running after him. We're all laughing. Next thing you know, coming around the corner, my father's got Danny. Oh, please don't cut my hair. Please. Danny was crying. He sits down. He's got the clippers behind him, but he's like using his hands like to do it. Thought he really cut his hair. Oh my God, we lost it. Then he come around the corner. We never thought he was going to catch Danny. I never saw my father running in my life. Yeah, but he nabbed him.
Oh, shit was different back then, man. We were fucking bad.
Yeah, the cops pull you over. It's like, I'm going to call you. They know your father.
Yeah, go home. I'm going to tell your father you've been drinking. Yeah.
Give me the beer. Pour it out. Go.
Yeah.
Be smart. But I mean, yeah, but everyone knew it. Like, I couldn't get away with anything, really, because people knew everyone. It wasn't a big city, but it was big enough. But
How did I become so mischievous then?
you moved to Florida.
That's true.
Your brother taught you.
Yeah, Patrick taught me the ways
Leader of the gang.
Patrick taught me the ways of the mean streets of Lakewood Ranch.
No, but I taught you if you did what you needed to do, you could get away with some shit, and you just knew when to get caught and when not to get caught.
But I never did what I needed to do.
Yeah, you were dumb. You were sitting there smoking cigarettes and videotaping it, and then leaving your camera out and forever with the photos going.
It wasn't my video camera.
Yeah, but you're the people you associated with. Like with Dad's friends, they didn't rat him out. They just said that was the house. They don't know who lives there.
But then fuck that, because then we found out later. Because no, we were smoking pot, and then we found out later. Vito in their guest bathroom by the pool found a little cigar box under a plant, and he's like, "Oh, I wonder what's in there." And they had a bunch of weed in there.
Yeah, but
And of course, we stole it and smoked it, and then they were even more mad at us for smoking their weed.
Yeah, you don't steal someone's weed.
I remember,
Dude,
not the craziest thing I did, but the stupidest thing I did was, do you remember when we were on Silverado
Yeah.
and the alarm to the middle door came off? And I went to go tell Mom and John, but I stopped and I looked at you,
Why'd you
and I
break it?
taped it up. And then you could open the window and sneak out.
But you
And
never
we had-
snuck out.
But I did. You just didn't know.
I was asleep.
And
We shared a
would
room.
I would shimmy.
You were a
because
little
they had
burglar,
little-
dude.
You would
I would
you would
shimmy.
what? You'd
Shimmy. Because it was literally like 3 inches of like this fake like concrete
Like
shit.
Coliseum.
Yeah,
like,
and I would go out the
tier.
front. And my buddy Kyle picked me up one time in his Pontiac Sunbird. And I almost got caught smoking. So I was like, I can't smoke. So we had dip. So we were dipping. We went to go hang out at this party. And we came back. And I was like, you got to get me in by this time or I'm in trouble. Because my mom's going to work. Because she was working at DiGiovanni's going in. And he took the turn so fast, I swallowed the dip. And so I'm like, oh. And he's like, you good? I'm like, I'm good, bro. He gets out, and I go, all right, slow and steady. Like, turn your lights off when you pull up. So he did a little U-turn, went out, and I'm on the front like this. He went away. I'm puking my brains out in the front yard, just dying. And then I shimmied in and got in, and then, like, laid in bed and was just violently shaking in the bed, like, just like, oh my God, like it was so bad. I never took dip again. Even the pouches, I was like, nope.
In like
get it
high
away
school
from
or
me.
middle school, did you guys ever hang out with like girls who dipped?
You
No.
show those with girls?
It was like the trashiest thing ever, but you knew they put out. Like this girl's putting fucking fiberglass in her mouth. What else is she putting there? It's fucking wild.
No. I didn't really hang around spunkers. You had the stoners, you had the jocks. That's the only two classes you had. You had the people in the middle that weren't really classified
There's
as
3.
anything.
The nerds. Weren't you a nerd?
No.
No, he's a little bandit, dude. He was moving cars and shit.
Well, we had a friend. We'd be like, "Hey, give me money for gas," because he had his license before we did. He had a car,
Yeah.
but he would beat the hell out of that car. He'd beat the heck out of it. Then we'd like give him like gas was 95 cents a gallon. So I'll give him $2-3. He's like, "I don't feel good. I'm going home." But he'd actually
He would
get
hustle you.
but then he'd actually go get a girl and go out with her.
Yeah.
But he never had any money. It was always like trying to bum money. So,
Yeah.
but he had a car that the key broke off in the ignition. Well, I used to work for my cousin doing driving a wrecker.
So you copied the key.
No, I had
Oh, it's stuck in the
I
ignition.
had the Slim Jim, so I just go over and I popped the lock, and it was the standard, so we could put it neutral because he had these wicked cherry bomb mufflers on it, dual exhaust, and he lived like near a hill, so we just put neutral and roll it down the street. Then we go out there, we go tooling around, then we bring his car back, right?
And then you pivot it in the driveway.
No, we just park it home. He goes, I think I got a gas leak in my car. She's using a lot of gas lately.
That's
And then-
funny.
And then we used to, like my other buddy, he was like a high school assistant manager at KFC. and we used to go over and like different people. We do stuff, and we got like
This is now the Mark Boucher reminiscing show, anyways.
we got a couple alligator clips. We put it on the positives of the battery, and then hook it to his horn, and close the hood of his car and run off. And he'd be out there like banging on his horn, thinking it was the horn stuff.
That's
It was
fucking
just,
great.
I mean, but back then
it was harmless fun.
nothing was broken, nothing was damaged,
Yeah.
nobody got hurt. It was all just stupid, harmless fun.
Dude, one time, one of my friends, this guy that I knew, I was probably a freshman in high school. He was like 17, 18. We'd hang out with like the older kids. There was a grocery store, Sweet Bay, off State Road 70. It's now a Goodwill, where like Texas Roadhouse and shit is on 70.
Oh yeah.
And this one guy's backyard was like full of pine trees. It was like the only place that had pine trees in Lake Ranch. And this dude burned it down. Yeah, it was wild. Lots of fire with my friend group.
Cool story, Hansel.
That's wild. I'm just comparing.
I didn't destroy.
I wasn't there.
I didn't destroy the homes
But
of
we
little
all
furry
knew-
creatures
but
that
we
are
all knew it was
now
him.
homeless, so he burned them alive. That's just vicious.
Oh, yeah.
When's the first time you got drunk?
My
I've
wedding.
never been drunk.
My wedding.
First time I
I
got.
was drunk at your wedding.
No, you had a drink.
You had a couple. I made you have
I
a
had a
couple.
drink.
I need to make a drink. What time is it?
First time I got drunk was 17. I went to a Halloween party and I drank a bottle of Jose Cuervo. And I come around that corner of the house.
Whole bottle.
Yeah, well, it was like probably half or a third.
Probably like
Small
a
bottle?
750.
Yeah, the little 99-cent one.
Okay.
And
you're thinking like this. It's like, oh, okay.
there was
Well, the
a
bottle
there was a
got
cop coming around the corner, and I'm like, oh, and he goes, you got some ID, son? And I said, no. He goes, how old are you? I go, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm 17. He goes, put him behind your back. So I put my hands behind my back, and he cuffed me up, and he's walking me to the front because I was hanging out with older kids at that time, and I'm like sitting there.
Were
like,
you
oh,
driving?
What?
No, I wasn't driving. I drove there.
Well, wait. He brought you to the front of what?
He brought me
His
back
car.
to the house of the back of the party, and I'm like,
Oh.
great, because I'm like, he's gonna arrest all these kids and break
What's
it
your
up.
party more?
So then he's talking to my buddy Frank, who's like 22 at the time. Or
You were in
whatever.
handcuffs?
Yep, was
I
in
didn't know this
handcuffs.
story.
And I look down, I look at
We've
his
all been in
gun.
handcuffs.
I looked at his gun, and it's a clear airsoft gun. So I start freaking out and going, this isn't real, get off me. And I'm pushing and shoving him and everything like that. And my buddy's like, calm down, you're gonna get resisting. And I'm like freaking out. So like, get off me, bro, who are you? And I'm like spazzing. So finally he goes, hey, this is
You're
my
not a
buddy.
cop.
He's actually a cop. This is his real uniform. He's in the academy, blah, 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 blah.
We're
So
just
it's
fucking
funny.
with you, yeah.
So he was a good
Good
guy,
prank.
and I knew him off and while. His name was Kyle, and he actually did pretty good. I don't know his last name. I'm not trying to get him in trouble. But it was like years later, I'm sitting in like the Subway parking lot with this girl after she got off work. And I'm sitting there and I'm smoking a marijuana cigarette. And as I light it, I take 2 hits, and all of a sudden, searchlight goes on. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, shit. Because I can't hide it. You can see exactly what
Eat
I'm
it.
doing. No, he's already caught me. Like I'm like this. And all of a
Awesome.
sudden I hear, Patty. And I go, yes, officer. He goes, put it out and go home. Yes, sir. Put it out. She goes, you know him? I go, we'll tell you later. I drove off with her in the car.
Dude, the cops knew us by our first names too, like not in like a playful way. Officer Zink.
You were always in trouble.
Yeah. I was walking to the apartment one time from Main Street. I was like 15. I had like an ounce and like a bowl on me. And remember that long stretch to get to our apartment?
Yep.
I'm walking and I see 2 cop cars and I'm like listening to like Taking Back Sunday or some shit, just like stone trying to walk, and I hear Sean Boucher. Fuck. And it was Subi and Zink, and I walk over and they're like, what are you doing on this side of town? Because I was normally down in like Braden Hood. Let's go. I'm staying at my brother's apartment tonight. My parents are out of town. They're like, do you need a ride? I'm like, nah, dog, I'm good. I don't need a ride.
Did you ever hear about the time I almost shot him?
No, I heard when Travis got shot. Well, Travis shot at him, but no.
So I had my first apartment. So you open the door. It was a 2nd-story apartment, and you open the door, and it was stairs. You just went straight upstairs.
Yeah.
And we had a golden retriever, Jack Daniels, who never slept with me. But that night, for some weird reason, Sean was like, I'm going to go to this party. I'm going to stay at my buddy's house. I said, that's fine. So I'm laying in bed, and my dog's laying with me, and I'm like, this is weird. He never lays with me. Something's off. So then he pops up, and he starts growling. So I'm like, what? What's going on? So I'm like, what? So then I hear like a rustling at the door. So I grabbed that single barrel 12 shotgun you got me for hunting, and it still had the lock on it, and I couldn't find the lock, and I had no ammo, so I covered it, and I got down. He's at the dog's at the top of the stairs. I'm like, shut up, Jack. I'm like, shut up. So I covered the handle, and I go down to like the 7th or 8th stairs. So as soon as you walk in, you got a barrel in your face. Finally, the door swings open. It's this kid, drunk. I'm like, Jesus, what are you doing? And he's like, what are you doing? Are you going to shoot me? I said, no, you told me you weren't staying here. I thought somebody was breaking into the house. He's like, you're going to shoot me. I was like, I'm not. Get upstairs now. I was so pissed.
I still got the gun.
I got-
You still got the key somewhere. You lost
I got a
it.
I
stern
lost that
talking
key. I
to.
told you that. You still have that gun?
Yeah. They're still good without the key.
I can call a locksmith.
That apartment was wild.
The locksmith won't take that off.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Dude, remember the time? Okay, so.
It's a gun.
So, one time, so I was like 15. We all know I was living with Patty at the time. One time we made mushroom tea. And
Stop.
it was me, Patty, my
Change
buddy
your name.
Tyler,
Innocent.
and my buddy Billy. It's statute of limitations. This was like 13 years ago. And so we make the mushroom tea. We're listening to Sublime, having a good time. Patrick's tripping with us. I never tripped with my brother. And as soon as it starts to kick in, Billy's mom calls. Where are you? I'm coming to get you. He's like, what? And Patrick's in his room, like, smoking a joint or something. He's not outside. And I was like, I mean, you got to go. It's your mom, dude. So Billy leaves. And then Patrick comes out of his room like 10 minutes after Billy leaves. Patrick was like 19 at the time. We were like 15. And he's like, where's Billy? Like, oh, his mom came and got him. No shit. No, you're lying. You're fucking with me. He's looking through the whole apartment, looking through the closet. I'm like, why would I lie?
I searched every
He's like,
Billy, where
I
I
he's like,
searched
"God damn it."
every inch of that house. I'm like,
he's like, I'm gonna get so fucked if she finds out that we're doing mushrooms here. And I'm here. I gotta go. I gotta leave.
the house. I was freaking out. I searched everywhere. Like I pulled out the couch that was behind the wall like this.
Billy was a little kid too. He could have been
He
anywhere.
could have been anywhere. I opened the fridge. I opened the dryer. I looked everywhere. I was freaking
Did you
out.
move the box of Cheerios?
No,
Did you look in the Lucky Charms?
no.
They're magically delicious.
Dude, that was
He could
so
have dressed as a
funny.
leprechaun.
He's like, I get weird. He's like, I get silly when I trip. And then we're like, yeah, Billy left. What? What do you mean he left?
And we just broke Christmas lights. We didn't get people hallucinogens.
Remember?
They supplied it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're making mushroom tea. Do you want? Remember when you guys thought I was gay? Who wants to watch Family Guy?
He comes home one time and I can tell something's off.
I did a lot of acid. Him and Ashton like sat me down. Like, you need to stop doing acid. Anyways.
And he was on mushrooms, and I knew he was on mushrooms. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at him, and he's at the table, and he's got the blanket over him like this, and he's like, "Who wants to watch Family Guy?" And he's all just like, all giddy and happy, and I'm like, "Something's wrong with you." And he's like,
You
"No."
threw something at me.
Yeah, I threw something at him, and he's like freaking out. And
I
he's
like delayed
"Why are you
reaction
being
there."
so mean? Why are you being so mean? Be nice, love me. I'm your brother." And I said, "You're on mushrooms, aren't you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "How long ago you take him?" He's like, "About an hour ago." And I go, 35 minutes, I'll see you there. He goes, "No." He goes, "No." And I go, "Yeah." And I showed him the back. That was a fun night.
That was a fun apartment.
Stupid stuff.
To reminisce. The one.
This is basically a podcast of us telling you how bad of children we were.
We turned out fine.
I don't know. You guys had your issues. But everyone has their issues growing
Yeah.
up. I was perfect. You guys weren't.
Yeah,
Your own
okay.
problems.
It's just,
I didn't, you know what? I didn't give my father crap. Because my father, three strikes you're out. Okay, so we're out in Maine. We're raking leaves. Somehow we're talking about my father. And I said something, and I said, yeah, I said, you know, Dad, and he got pissed. Because Dad used to work 8 to 4, 4 to midnight, midnight to 8. Rotated for 40 years at the mill. When he worked midnight to 8, he couldn't sleep the day. He was a bear. So you never knew what. And my brother and I would just. Michael was an instigator. We would just buck heads and this and that, whatever. And when he had enough, he'd take his shoe off. He used to wear the old.
Michael
clock.
or Grampy?
Grampy.
Michael would instigate, and then my father would.
Oh, no, knock it off. Yeah.
Then he'd take his
I
shoe.
wonder where he got that from.
He had a short fuse. Well, he was 36 when he had Mike, and Mike's kind of an instigator.
Yeah.
And I was telling Ann this. She said, Morris, beat you with a shoe? And I go, yeah, shoe, book, anything. When he had enough, he was done, right? So then my brother happened to pull up. So he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? I go, raking leaves. She goes, let's tell a story about your father. Oh, yeah, what's he saying now? She goes, about I used to, you guys used to get wound up and he'd beat you with a shoe. My brother goes, hell, shoe, belt, book, lamp. She's like, sweet dear Morris. Like, yeah, you didn't know young high-strung Morris when because he was edgy. He was always nervous.
Yeah, well, he was tired.
But
too.
I would not try to, like, you knew to a point. So
Yeah.
it's like, but I was always responsible.
Enough, you crossed the line. Yeah.
Like, in high school, we go to parties. I said, all right, Dad, I'm going to a party tonight. I said, if I'm not coming home, it's because I had a beer. I'm going to stand. I would never risk drinking and driving.
Yeah,
I was
like me,
I was
yeah.
always responsible. If I'm going to have a beer, is one beer really going to affect me? No, but I'm going to spend the night. Right?
Yeah.
And maybe I had a beer once or twice. Usually I didn't. That was me. But then I put a phone in my room because my buddies would call me and they'd say, hey, come pick me up. And why is the phone? My buddies need to ride home. And I'd rather they call me than drink and drive. So I'm the one who would where are you? And I knew where the parties were, you know, but they were like, hey.
That's really rad of you, man.
You know, I was the one who would go pick them up and do that. Because a lot of times I was working this and that. You know what I mean? But after that, they call me. It's like, okay, let's go pick them up. So
About 3 weeks ago, you got one of those phone calls. Made you reminisce about back in the day.
The phone rang. So you go pick me up.
Dad, I've been trying to get an Uber for an hour.
All right, hour and a half. Actually, when I was younger, one of the parties I went to, you know who was there?
Who?
Bob Marley.
Really?
Not the reggae star, but the comedian.
I was going to say, what was Bob Marley doing
Bob
to me?
Marley. He was at the party hanging out after one of his gigs or whatever in Portland.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of high-strung fathers, do you remember the time
I'm never
when you were you had the apartment after the divorce, and Sean and I were arguing in the room, and you were like, enough, and then I was on top of Sean and I was punching him, and you grabbed me by the belt and threw me across the room. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you should have been picking on me, dude.
You don't remember that?
No, I probably got you up. I don't remember throwing you across the room.
You threw me across the room, bro.
No.
I was like 7.
Probably how I got that scar.
I'm sorry.
I got
Does
that
hurt you?
scar.
I'm sorry.
I was telling Dad, remember he had that golf... All right, we got to wrap this up soon because the roast is coming on. I was telling Dad, remember he had that golf game, and it was me and Austin and you, and we were hanging out, and you learned how to spell. You were always ahead of the curve. And you were making a character's name, and it was like grass. And you're like, hey, guys, check it out. ASS. And we were like, like, stop, don't laugh. We're gonna get in trouble.
That's like when
I'm
you
like,
made...
dude, it's grass.
That's like when you made this... He had... you go to cathedral with the nuns, and I go in there one day.
Me or him?
Sean's in trouble, and
Shocker.
All I hear is, listen, the nuns don't like it when you call them a liar. It's like, okay.
That school up.
But Patrick had homework, and I go, okay, you got to rewrite the story. And he goes, why? And I go, because it's not... He wrote a character, right? And he was fighting with me.
Was the character's name Grass?
No,
it was Tit.
T-I-T. I go,
Hell yeah.
I go, it just doesn't sound good. Then he's like, then he would change it like it was all, you can't turn it messy. They don't care about messy. And I went, what if it's wrinkled? And I crumpled it up. He was like, no! He was so pissed. He was so angry.
All right, we're going to wrap this up to watch the roast. I'm going to Wawa. You guys need anything?
No, I'm good.
Ketchup chips?
I'm not really going back to Wawa. It's called a callback.
Why does your iPad say 4:34? What time is it for real?
7:34.
The roast is on at 8.
It's time for a watch.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Whatever. We'll figure that out not on the podcast. Anyways, this has been My Wife's Asleep. Anything you guys want to plug?
Wawa, ketchup chips.
Oh, yeah. Anything you want to plug?
No, not really.
Dunkachino's back. You can catch me at the McCurdy's Comedy Contest this Wednesday, 7 p.m. I know it's going to be hard to get a flight from South Africa, but 7 p.m. Come and vote for me. I got some new material for you guys.
Don't vote for him.
No house for you. You know what? I'm going to buy you a house with a pool.
Are you going?
No, the maintenance.
Yeah, I'm
Are you
texting
going
him
to
the
the
other...
comedy thing?
No, I gotta close.
Hold on. Have you contemplated my offer from last night?
Wait, what was the
Well,
offer?
yeah, I need the money first.
Have you contemplated my offer?
Yeah, I need
Do you
the
want to tell them what the offer
So
was?
he texted me 11:45 last night, drunk off his ass, and he goes, "Do you want to be my manager in the next 3 years when my comedy takes off?" And I told him, "I have the skills to be the manager and handle the negotiations, the planning, and all that, but I need to see the money first. I'm not gonna quit my career to go fucking hang out at fucking McCurdy's. Once the money starts rolling and he's getting the offers and he's got continuous gigs and I can make a decent living, I will be your manager. I can handle it.
Whenever I was thinking about that.
Drama. I'm gonna be Johnny Drama.
Victory! Whenever you get a text from me, do you sigh before you open it? Because I was thinking about some of the shit I text you, and I'm like, I'm exhausting
No
to
one
you.
touches my phone but me, so I have the notifications pop up, so I don't even have to answer, like the people that read only and shit.
Yeah.
So I just look at the message and then I just put it away.
Yeah, when yours comes on, it goes dun 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 dun. It's the ringtone.
My favorite text though is it was like I'm not gonna drink. I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna drink. And it was literally 12 hours later. We did a podcast.
5:30 in the morning.
5:30 in the morning. I'm getting up to work out before I go to work, and he sends me the scene from Stars Born with what's his name?
I was telling you about
Bradley
that. Sam
Cooper.
Elliott.
No,
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott's backing out of the driveway right before he kills himself, and he sends me that scene and from YouTube, and then underneath he goes, "Whoops," and I was like, "How many of you had?" He's like, "I drank a whole bottle." So that's our inside joke now. Every time he has a drink, he'll text me like, "Whoops."
Whoops.
You know what the best was? It was probably, I don't know, a week or so after I picked him up from the bar. Is I had knee surgery Thursday, so it was Friday night. I got my cane, my knee's killing me, and I hear, what the fuck is that? Well, what the hell? I get up and I go take my pain medicine. I go, he's on the couch. I figure he's out there being all emotional,
Crying?
on the couch, and he had way too much to drink.
I was overserved in the Boucher kitchen.
Yeah, And I went just like this. Look at the lights. Sean, take 3.
He did do that.
Just look at the lights. It's okay, Sean. Look at the lights.
I'm like, oh, fucking failure. I'm never gonna financially recover. I gotta text Patrick. All right, this has been My Wife's Asleep, guys. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mark, for coming along. Yeah, we're gonna watch the Brady roast. You guys are never allowed back on the podcast.
Dude,
guys
you
are
want to
embarrassed.
fucking do this? Jesus fucking.
It's still filming the video, you dicks.
Why?
I stopped it.